guys, and welcome to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today, I wanted to try something slightly different. I've noticed in the past few videos, I've been talking a lot about dress watches. Now, that is my personal preference. You know, I love a good dress watch, and I honestly think we don't talk about them enough. But today, I wanted to talk about sports watches. And not just any sport watch or type of sport watch, but divers watches, the most popular segment out there. So I was thinking of what might be interesting for you guys, and I came up with this topic. My opinion for 3 luxury divers that you can get well under retail if you buy them pre-owned. Now, before we get started, I'd figure I'd do a wristwatch check. And I'm wearing my Omega Speedy, the Apollo 14 limited edition on a NATO. God, I love this watch. I haven't worn it in quite a long time. Yeah, sorry guys, I was just staring a little bit. All right, so moving on. The first diver on my list is one which you can get for a phenomenal price if you look at some of the specs. And this is one of the toughest watches out there. I mean, it's really built like a brick shit house, as the British would say. And that is the Breitling Superocean Steelfish 42 millimeter. It's an interesting watch. I mean, obviously it's 42 millimeter, and it's a Steelfish, but it was only built in 2000 or produced in 2005. Because previously to that, the Steelfish was 40, but it wore rather small, and then after 2005, it became a 44. So this is the rarest version. It is the Steelfish 42 produced in 2005. But let's look at some of the specs. I mean, it's got the unidirectional bezel, of course. It's got superluminova, and it's built from solid stainless steel. However, it's 1,500 meter water resistant, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a physical impossibility to even dive that deep, but it just means it's built in a very robust way. And it also uses a movement which is not particularly glamorous, but great for the purpose, and that is the Breitling Caliber 17, also known as the ETA 2824. Not 2892, 2824. This is a little bit thicker, a little bit more robust, and not quite as refined. So yeah, I mean, the movement is not, nothing special, but Breitling do decorate it, and it is a decent looking movement at the end of the day if you take a look at it. But more importantly, this watch is the ultimate beater watch. I can't think of many tougher than this. And here's the best part. On the secondhand market, be it eBay, Time Zone, you can get these anywhere from $1,300 to $1,600 in pretty good condition. That really can't be beat, can it? All right, moving along to number 2 on this dive watch list. And this is actually a really interesting pick, if I do say so myself. And that is the Glashutte Original Sport Evolution. Now, Glashutte, it's a German brand, so it's not Swiss, obviously. And they're not really known for their sport watches, unless you consider Flieger watches sport watches. And this was their only quote-unquote sports line, and it really didn't sell well. I mean, I was actually still in retail when this came out, and we couldn't give these things away. And I don't know why, because they are fantastic. But all it means for you guys is you can pick them up pretty cheap on the secondhand market. So let's run down some of the stats. It's 42 millimeter, and it's got a 200 meter water resistant case. So, standard dive stuff. I would have hoped for 300 meters, but 200 is more than enough. And it is not one of the first, it is the first watch and watch company to have invented the glide lock clasp. One of the features that makes the Rolex bracelet so famous is this spring-built glide lock clasp, so you can quickly adjust it. Well, Glashutte Original actually invented this feature, and it first came out on this watch. And it's really cool because on this watch, it's a little bit more refined than the Rolex. You actually activate it by pressing down on the Glashutte logo on the clasp. It's also got another feature, which if you look at the dial, it's called the panorama date. Now this is something Glashutte does a lot. It's a date, but instead of one disc, so it's small or you might need a Cyclops, it's on two separate discs that rotate independently, which gives you a date aperture, which is, essentially double the size. And it's actually pretty complicated to make. I believe there's 14 moving parts just to get the extra disc to rotate in sync. So it is pretty complicated, especially if you consider that this is a sports watch. And of course, it's got an in-house movement. Glashutte is fully in-house. This is the in-house German-made Geo 39 movement. It's got the 3/4 plate, it's automatic, and it's got, I believe, a partial 24 karat rotor, not a full 24 karat rotor. And it's an open display back, so you can really take a look at it. It's quite beautiful. This is on the more expensive side, but considering these pieces used to retail for anywhere between $9,000 to $10,000, you can pick these up in mint condition for around $400 to $4,300 US. I mean, it's a steal. I understand it's not for everybody. The styling is a little Marmite, as Tristano might say. But if you like it, it's one hell of a watch. And moving along to my third choice, it is the IWC Aquatimer 2000. This is another line that I feel didn't get much love. Just like the Glashutte, the IWC Aquatimer was by far the least popular line in the IWC range, not counting the Da Vinci, because that's a very small line anyway. But what are the specs? Well, this is a 44mm dive watch, and I'm talking about the previous generation, not the one out right now, but the one that was just discontinued. And that is a 44mm case, and it's 2,000 meter water resistant. Once again, excessive, but a nice indication of the quality and the robustness one can expect from such a watch. And, this piece has a couple things that makes it unique. The first thing, all the pieces so far have had unidirectional bezels, but this one is a bezel with loomed numbers and a piece of sapphire on top. Pretty similar to the Blancpain 50 Fathoms bezel. So the bezel is fully loomed and it's scratch resistant with that sapphire enclosure. And another thing that makes this piece quite interesting is it's got IWC's patented quick release on the strap. So it's on the bottom, you've got these two little pins that you can just kind of squeeze. You need no tools and it's very simple, and you can swap out from rubber to cloth to the bracelet very, very easily. It's actually pretty cool, and it's a nifty little feature. It's actually the exact same feature that's found on the Cartier Roadster. Cartier, also being Richemont like IWC, uses the feature as well. And this piece uses the ETA 2892. So not quite as robust as a 2824 in the Steelfish, the Breitling Steelfish, but it's a little bit more refined. Timekeeping tolerances were a little tighter, and of course IWC modifies this to their specifications. This piece can be had for about $2,400. So guys, what do you think of my picks? Do you agree with them? You think I missed one? I was trying to go for, more luxury picks that happen to be a steal on the secondhand market. Now guys, do me a favor, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, it does help, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or comments. I read every single comment, and I kind of use it to come up with new video ideas. And don't forget to hit subscribe for new content. It will be right down there, because I try and come out with 3 or 4 videos a week, and I wouldn't want you guys to miss it. Anyway guys, thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.